Hello, my name is Blythe, and today I'll be talking about drug addiction because of the fact that my father has been doing drugs since I was a little girl, and this speech has led me to understand and be able to inform you of the different drug things that happen, the results of doing drugs, the problems, and what you can do to fix it. To whoever might not know, drug problem can be overcome and can be controlled. Marijuana, for once, does not have an addiction. You don't get addicted to marijuana. You decide to do it because you choose to. And maybe many people around the world, besides marijuana, do other drugs for many reasons. Stress, to cope with their anxiety, just to be curious, or just to fit in with their crowd because their crowd is doing it, so they don't want to feel left out, or they don't want to be, how they would say, peer pressured or punked at, or they just want to have a good time. Most teenagers use it as an excuse that the drug will make them have a good time, when in reality, if you want to have a good time, you don't need a drug to have a good time in life. I started doing this speech because my father is a drug addict. He's been a drug addict since I was 6, probably younger than 6 years old. From when I can remember, he's always been a drug addict. He's about to be 40 years old, and I am 19. I have not made him stop. His children are not a reason that he stops. He chooses to keep on being a drug addict and doing what he wants to do. He doesn't see the results in others by what his actions are. The drugs around the world can be more dangerous than some people take it to be. Drugs mess with your mentality and they mess with your view as a person. The way somebody sees you is a big deal, because if you're trying to get a job and they know that you're a drug addict, they know the way you react when you're not on your drug, nobody's going to want to hire you. So you have to make your view as a person be better than what other people would want you to be or not want you to be. You got to do the exact opposite. A lot of people want to see you go down in life, and you got to overcome it on your own before you even start doing drugs, or even when you do drugs. You got to learn when to stop. The drugs don't only affect the brain, they also affect the body. What happens with the brain, though, is that the brain has a push-pull. It sends and receives. If you're on a drug, you're sending the message twice. The brain is feeling overwhelmed that it has sent messages out too many times because of the fact that you're supposed to send a nerve out and receive the result from your body. When you're on a drug, you're either receiving twice or sending twice, or over sending, so that way, because your brain is getting confused if it has sent its message or not. Then that's why you start getting those black holes that everybody talks about, because the brain starts getting overwhelmed. In the years, drug abusers have been 23 million in 2012 were using drugs, from medicine drugs to cocaine to marijuana, including underage children that were still trying to get through their high school years. Today, the estimated cost of marijuana has been bought in, and cocaine and every other drug that's around the world being brought to America has been 600 million annually from tobacco use and illicit drugs. All of that money has been spent on drugs, when in reality, some of those people spending that money on drugs do not have the money to spend it. They have to suffer and go through the worst to actually get their product. According to authors that I have read and researched, Robinson, Smith, and Sazin, they detect that a person who is a drug abuser and is using drugs. The reason to detect that you're a drug abuser or a drug addict is that if the drug is causing you a problem at home, work, school, relationships, or just any problem at all that you allow it to keep on causing, that will signify how you know you're a drug addict. Now that I've told you about drug abusement has increased and how to spot a drug addiction, let me tell you about the damages it causes in the body. Other than the brain, the drug affects you by your emotions. When you are at a party with family and you're not on drugs, you can get very aggravated, annoyed. Just like my father, when he's at a family meet, nobody wants him there because they know something's about to happen because he cannot control himself. And even on his drug, he can control himself, but he's drugged up and we don't want him even around the family. And it gets pretty sad because instead of handling your drug addiction and stopping, you want everybody to push you away instead of letting them help you because of the fact that you're so stuck on them. According to Dr. Chavarria, drugs do catch up with you later on in life. When you stop doing drugs or want to stop doing drugs and have done so many of them, you can start getting anxiety attacks. You could go to the hospital because you can't eat well. You have to be getting IV in your body because of the fact that your body doesn't know how to cope with a normal healthy body. Other than the body getting affected by it, I can let you know how you can overcome it before you start doing drugs or even after you've done drugs. You can be around people who want the best for you or around the people who can cope it with you. You can, when you have a problem, you have to admit it to yourself before you can mentally want better for yourself. You need to see someone that is willing to work 110% with you to try to help you and better and also cope with your body and the mixed emotions you will come to. You have to want to change. People can just help you, but they can't do it for you. Unless you have in your mind that you're going to change, then you will do it. I believe anybody who wants to change will change and can change. But like I said, unless they really want to change, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a minute. You have to want it, and you have to be able to say, I'm going to go through all the hardship that's going to take to stop. I believe my father can stop, but I really don't see him trying. And unless you try, it's not going to happen. So I'm done with my speech, and I hope you enjoyed it. That's my research on the drug addiction and from what I know. Just remember, if you have a drug problem or if you did have a drug problem, don't seek down to anyone's level because they don't care about you or their life or your life. You can only plan for your future. Thank you and have a nice day.